You're drawing up mental pictures in the listener's mind. You're transferring your mental picture of yourself, your self image, and your experience. You're transferring that to millions and millions of listeners who are now listening to, vibing, and taking in what you're saying into their spirit. Anything that you constantly put into your mind, into your spirit, it's going to manifest eventually. It has to. That's law. Input, consistent input eventually equals the reflective output. The same type of thing you put in is going to come out. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the. It seems to be, not seems to be. It is a consistent amount of rappers that are murdered constantly, constantly. Every time I look up, I'm seeing a different rapper that has been murdered, and mind you, I haven't heard of most of these brothers until I hear that they got murdered. Because I'm not up to date with all the current rappers and what hip hop is doing now, because it's definitely my age, but I'm from that older school era, 80s hip hop, 90s hip hop type of thing. What's going on now ain't so much my thing, but I'm not going to knock, the creativity that is coming forth. However, what is going on with all of these murders from all of these rappers? Seem like back to back to back to back. It's just constant. Okay? And so I said, let me see how many rappers. Let me go from 2015. And look, I don't know if this is a comprehensive list. This is Wikipedia, right? Now it says a rapper named The Jacker on February 2nd, 2015. So look, before I go through each individual, it appears there were 3 rappers killed in 2015. The Jacker, Flabba, Chinks Drugs. I heard of Chinks Drugs. I haven't heard of Flabba and The Jacker. So we got a shooting, a stabbing, and a shooting. 2016, it looked like 2 rappers, according to Wikipedia, Bankroll Fresh and 3-2. Shootings. Atlanta and Houston. 2018, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. XX Tentacion, I heard of him, but I didn't hear him. I didn't hear of him before he got killed. Shooting. Deerfield Beach, Florida. Jimmy Wopo, I'm not aware of him. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Shooting. So we got 20 years old, 21 years old. Smoke Dog, June 30th, 2018. 21 years old. Toronto, Canada. Shooting. He was 21 years old. And we got Young Greatness. Never heard of him. Haven't heard of Smoke Dog either. 2018. New Orleans, Louisiana. Shooting. 34 years old. Feist, F-E-I-S, Feist, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Never heard of him. So it looked like now we're in 2019. Looked like it's 3 in 2019. 32 years old. Rotterdam, South Holland. Okay, so that's not even America, but it's still a rapper. Okay, so it's still part of the hip hop community. Kevin Fret, never heard of him. 24 years old. But that's Rio Piedras, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is part of America, if I'm not mistaken. Forgive me for my ignorance if I am mistaken. But those 3 are shootings. One was 34 years old, one was 32 years old, and the last one I mentioned was 24 years old. Of course, Nipsey Hussle, 2019, 33 years old, Los Angeles, California. We all know about him. Now we into 2020. We got Pop Smoke, 20 years old, Los Angeles, shooting during home invasion. Houdini, I believe I heard of him. 2020, 21 years old, Toronto, Canada. Shooting. Huey. I'm not sure if I heard of him. June 25th, 2020, 31 years old, Missouri. Kinloch, Missouri. King Von. 2020, Atlanta, Georgia. MO3. King Von was 26 years old. 11 shooting. And we heard of King Von. I've heard of King Von. MO3, never heard of him. 28 years old, Dallas, Texas. Shooting. Anar, never heard of him. This is now we in 2021. So there are 5 in 2020. In 21, it appears to be in 2021. There appears to be 3. But Anar is Stockholm, Sweden. I don't know if hip hop. I never heard of him. 19 years old. Young Dolph, heard of him. 36 years old, Memphis, Tennessee. Drakeo, the Ruler. 21, 28 years old. Stabbing, Los Angeles, California. And Young Dolph was 36 years old. So I heard of him. So now we're in 2022. And so the most in 1 year looks to be 2020. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 2020. But this August 1st, 2022, and we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 murders of hip hop artists so far. Snooty Wild, Houston, Texas, shooting, 36 years old. Archie Eversole, 37 years old. Decatur, Georgia, shooting. Sidhu Moosewala, 28 years old. There's Manza, Punjab, India. Okay, they're getting busy in India. Trouble, 34 years old, Atlanta, Georgia, shooting during home invasion. Jada Youngin, and this is, I guess it's the latest one, July 27th, he was 24, Bogalusa, Louisiana. And I think I might have recently saw someone talking about one that maybe even happened a few days ago. Well, that was a few days ago. It was only August 1st, so maybe this is the one. However, when you look at all of these, I don't have the details for all of them, but we got majority of them are shootings. There's only a few, maybe I've probably just seen one that was a stabbing. So what is going on? What is happening here? Why are so many rappers being murdered?
Hey, make sure you press like, subscribe to the channel so that you can stay updated on the Razor Level Mandate events, so that you can get informed with insight upon insight upon insight that comes through the Mandate Man. Also, make sure you click the several links below for further resources, information, and opportunities to participate in the Mandate.
Now, some can say, it's a conspiracy, the government taking them out. I'm not even going to stretch things that far. To me, it's very simple. If we were to analyze, and I'm willing to bet, if we was to analyze the content of any or most of these rappers, and that's another thing that I may do in the next episode, is to analyze the content of these rappers' music. I'm willing to bet that the majority, if not all, of these rappers' music consists of violence, disrespect for life, talking about murder and killing, and being violent, and disrespecting women, and just overall lust for materialism and money. Now, I'm not going to be the old head that just, criticizing the youth. I'm not doing that, because the youth are a fruit. They are the fruit from the tree. So I don't sit up there and blame young people and say, oh, what's wrong with these kids today? These kids today. No, these kids today are the children of the parents who were kids yesterday, which was my generation. We gave birth to this generation. And the generation before us gave birth to us. Okay? And so the children were born into a society that draws them in to this type of activity, this type of mentality, this type of thinking, and this type of entertainment. Now, if we understand that entertainment is really outer detainment, and it's not, according to my man Ra'un Nefer Amen, Shechem of Shechem of All Cell Society, he says what entertainment is really supposed to be is inner attainment. But what it has become is outer detainment, the detainment of your consciousness outside of yourself, focused on the physical or focused on the lower self and glorifying the lower self. That's what entertainment in the society does. Now, when we got a situation in our community, the black community, in a situation with the youth, where there's a lack of comprehensive structure and training into manhood development, and there's a lack of structural systems, cultural systems in place to provide a means to not just survive but to thrive economically, then naturally, when that animal starts to call, that instinct to eat and survive starts to call, you're going to do what is in accordance to your character development and your spiritual development and your brain development. What you are capable of is what you will do. And so when you see what's going on in your community and your surroundings, you see, okay, the drug game has fizzled out, although some people are still in it. But that is fizzling out. It has fizzled out and it's fizzling out fast. So now the new drug game, not even new, but current, more people are gravitating towards it. The hip hop, the rapping, trying to use hip hop and rap music as an avenue to feed themselves and to prosper, and to not go to jail, to not be caught up in the criminal justice system or the criminal injustice system, but to try to find an avenue out. But the whole problem is with these rappers, these brothers, my young brothers. I don't want to say these rappers as if it's all y'all some people over there that are disconnected from me. Y'all are my brothers. Y'all are my young brothers. Y'all are our sons. Okay? Y'all inherited this. Y'all inherited a violent community that is fragmented and doesn't have things in place for you to pick up on and prosper. Now, I'm not giving you all a pass and all these excuses, because everybody that is your age is not doing the violence, okay? But see, the problem is what these rappers are rapping about is they glorifying the violent and the gang life that they supposed to be trying to get out of, and they don't understand the power of the words and the power of the mind and how you attract what you speak about and what you think about constantly, and then what you feel constantly. So if you constantly putting that energy out in the atmosphere that you are a gangster and you're glorifying killing, like not valuing life basically, and you're doing it to music, you're drawing up mental pictures in the listener's mind. You're transferring your mental picture of yourself, your self-image, and your experience. You're transferring that to millions and millions of listeners who are now listening to, vibing, and taking in what you're saying into their spirit, into their emotions, and anything that you constantly put into your mind, into your spirit, it's going to manifest eventually. It has to. That's law. That's the law of the universe. It's the law of nature. Okay? Input, consistent input eventually equals the reflective output. The same type of thing you put in is going to come out in some type of way. And so now, what you're doing when you put forth these ideas and images of yourself, being a gangster, I'll kill the ops. I ain't scared to die. This and this and that. You know how y'all say. You know how you doing. You are actually, when you're communicating this through music, what you're doing is through the power of multiplication, you're multiplying that image because so many millions of people are listening and rocking to your music and feeling your music in their spirit, and they're seeing what you're seeing about you. Okay? And so from a deeper subconscious level, you're attracting ultimately what is leading to your death, to your demise, to your imprisonment. Now, some of you are actually involved in gang culture actively. And so now, if you're involved in gang culture actively, and you're rapping about it and making music about it, so you're boasting and bragging about it. So now you're drawing more attention to yourself. So now you got eyes on you. Not just the ops eyes on you, but also law enforcement. So then you're more likely to get caught up in some stuff that is what you don't want to experience. What's the brother? Not 6ix9ine. He was beefing. He's in jail right now. Oh my goodness, I can't. Oh, dark skinned brother. Oh my goodness, y'all gonna kill me for this. What's that brother's name? Okay, I'm gonna look up his name, and I'm gonna put it up when I find it, because it's just not. But the brother's from Brooklyn, big brother, dark skin, I was proud of him because he came out of prison and he launched his rap career and he was being successful, and he was rolling with people like Jay-Z and other people, things like that, but he was still connected to that life. And so somehow he got caught up because of the new gang laws. If you're affiliated, then you're going to get dealt with by law enforcement in some way, especially if you high profile, you bringing money, and you could be feeding money to other criminals as far as law enforcement is concerned, to do criminal activity. So you're more likely, and then you bragging through your raps, you bragging about doing what you do, even if you ain't doing that no more. You got to understand the power of your words energizes the ideas, and the music is an element of the formula to manifest what it is that you want to bring forth from the spirit. That's why you look at any indigenous cultural rituals, music is always involved. You got the drumming, you got the chanting, you got rhythm, and you got the dancing. And so now that creates the trance, the music, the rhythm, the sound, the dancing. It creates that altered state of consciousness that makes you real receptive to now the message coming from spirit. And so now you take that message in from the higher self, from the ancestors, from spirit, to help, cleanse you, heal you, or reprogram your behavior or something productive. But just like with anything, that works, that same formula can work for your benefit or for your own demise. So now when you're energizing things that are the opposite of life, the opposite of health and healing, the opposite of love, unity, and cooperation, and building family and community, and you're talking about, and you're energizing through music and through sound and rhythm and emotion, these ideas, you're empowering these ideas to take form in your life. Okay? So, gotta wise up, man. You got to wise up. I love you. I love y'all. You see, I love our youth. I love our sons. But look, I gotta talk to you like a father. I gotta talk to you like an uncle or a big brother. Stop being stupid, man. Stop being stupid. Get your money. Change the message, man. This shit is crucial. Hip hop is influential all over the world. Through the power of your words, you can change the world in a positive way and uplift. I'm not blaming y'all. But when the stupidity gonna stop? Y'all didn't start this stupidity. It was going on in my generation. It was going on before then. Y'all didn't start it. But I grew up mainly on conscious hip hop. but it was still some negativity around it. Okay, and that gangster rap started to pick up momentum, and then it started dominating, and conscious rap just practically disappeared. It's still around, but it became like an afterthought for those next generations. It became trap music and drill music and just drug music and all of that. I'm not saying our generation is better than yours. Y'all are the fruit. We are the tree. So we in this together. So together we got to stop being stupid, man. We have to value our lives. Who else is going to value our lives if we don't? Okay? What is most of these rappers dying is getting shot. What's the beef? What are they beefing about? If we could get behind the scenes and see how these beefs start and how that ultimately lead to their deaths, I know that we will be so upset, so baffled on how petty these things are, and how in some of these cases a conversation in a respectful, proper way could resolve these issues. But things multiply and multiply. But they always start in some way, somehow, with someone speaking and not being mindful of their communication and the way they communicate to another person. Okay? But then it builds, And so it's a lot around disrespect, around this self-image. Me got to protect my ego. You see? Because I can't be looked at as weak. Can't be looked at as weak. Some people might think I'm soft, try to take advantage of me. But look what happens anyway. So we got to be mindful of our words and what we speak, our intentions and our thoughts, and how we think and see ourselves first and foremost, and our brothers. We got to start connecting, brothers, on a deeper level. Okay? This stupidity has to stop, man. It has to stop. Because what else we got if we don't have us to build us, to heal us, to repair the damage done to us, to improve us? What else do we have if we don't have us? Who ain't nobody going to do it for us? There is no Savior coming to save us. No one is going to clean up the community but us. No one is going to clean this stuff up but us. So we have to resolve to not remain stupid. We have to stop being stupid, brothers. We have to be the wise men of the world that we're destined to be, and that we originally are and were, and must be that again. And this is not about ego. This is not about so we can take over the world and this and this and that. No, this is about us thriving in our lives, in our communities, on this world, on this earth, fulfilling our purpose for being here, creating a beautiful existence instead of perpetuating ignorance, man. Ignorance, ignorance, ignorance. There's nothing to take pride and honor about being willing to so easily take another man's life, to take your brother's life. Oh yeah, I know you've heard it before, but actually you need to hear it again and again and again and again, because it got to stop. Right now I'm focusing on the hip hop community, but the hip hop community is just a reflection of the greater community. But you have to understand, hip hop is dominating the entertainment sphere around the world. The rest of the community ain't. And so hip hop has the voice and has the ear of the people. So it got the eyes and ears of the people, and this message is sinking into the people's soul, and it's reflecting, it's being pushed back out onto the people that are sending the messages. That's how we stop this. That's how we stop it. We got to value life more than we value death. This whole death and destruction thing, it's a habit. It's just a bad habit, because we have a bad habitual pattern of thinking in the way we see ourselves. We think that our self-image is the ego. And we have these animalistic, meaning emotional and instinctual reactions to triggers. And I don't mean triggers the guns. I mean triggers, your emotional triggers, things that set you off, set off your anger and fear response, and put you in fight or flight or freeze mode and survival mode. We're in constant survival mode. So you don't realize what is being articulated over this music is mostly trauma. And we're reinforcing back and forth the trauma, more trauma, more trauma, more trauma. And we're feeding that into the population, these ideas about us. So we're communicating the dysfunction. And we say, no, all rappers don't say that. All rappers don't do that. But what's dominating the airways and what's dominating the mindset of the people? What is dominating? If we want different results, brothers, we got to do something different. We can't keep speaking the same crap and expect not to get shit on. Can't keep speaking the same crap and expect not to get shitted on. Because we put crap in the environment is going to put crap on you. So, what we going to do? We know what we have to do. We got to build our character. We got to, work with one another and speak different words to one another and encourage one another to be better. But don't just be better. It's not enough just to say, I'm going to get out the rap game, but I'm going to keep talking shit. Because you have to know by now that words are things. Words are not just words. There's no such thing as sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, or names will never hurt me, whatever. No, there's no such thing as that. Words have power because the way you define things dictates how you respond to certain situations and stimuli. When certain words are spoken, your definition of that word and that tone and what you feel is the intention behind the word and tone causes you to react. Now, we have to get to the point where we don't allow ourselves to react this way, to react negatively from that stimuli. Or stimulus. Is it stimuli or is it stimulus? Whatever, you get what I'm saying. We have to cultivate our spirit, cultivate our will to respond with peace, love, understanding. This doesn't make you weak. This makes you strong. Don't you understand? If you can reason and use your will and respond with understanding and patience and take a circumspective view of the whole before you act, that is a strength and that's a sign of a development of the higher regions of your brain, your frontal lobes. But when you react always out of fight, flight, or freeze, the instinctual and emotional responses of the animal, that means that you're being controlled by the mammal, the mammalian part of your brain, and the reptilian part of your brain, which are the survival mechanisms. But that means you're unconscious. You're not awake. You're being controlled by your animal. We as men, our job is to tame our animal. Tame the animal. If we're not doing that, then we're not cultivating our manhood and we're not being men. We're being animalistic savages out here. Raise the level, man. This is the Raise the Level mandate. The mission of the Raise the Level mandate is to raise the value of life in the hearts and minds of the people and to help transform the habit, the human habit of death, destruction, and war into a habit of life enhancement, healing, and harmony. Harmony. Healing and harmony. Life enhancement, healing, and harmony. It's a choice. What do you want? Do you want to live in a world where you have life enhancement, your life is improving, the improvements around you. Humans are getting along, and we don't no longer deal with scarcity, but we deal with abundance, abundant health, abundant resources, abundant money and finances, abundant wealth, abundant energy, abundant life. Or do you want to live in a world dog eat dog forever, scarcity forever, struggle forever, depression from the oppression forever, mass incarceration forever, dis-ease forever, poverty forever, crime-ridden neighborhoods forever? Ain't nobody coming into our crime-ridden neighborhoods to save us. It's the people in the neighborhoods that the solutions are within. The solutions are within the people in these neighborhoods. Ain't nobody from outside going to come and change this. We just got to get real. We just got to keep it real. If it's going to change, we're going to have to change it. White people don't give a shit about the history, about how we got in this situation. And if they do give a shit, they don't have the ability to correct it. Only we have the ability to heal we. We have the ability to heal ourselves. But do we have the will? Do we have the intention? Do we have the resolve to correct these things? Oh, and these things are being corrected because not everybody's living a negative life. Not everybody is, living crime. Most people are not living crime. But most people are participating in the death and destruction habit, the death and destruction war habit in a different way, whether directly or indirectly. Self-destruction of ourselves, bad health habits, bad living habits, that ultimately is a slow suicide. So we all got some correction to do. We all can be a part of this mandate to raise the level. Raise the level of health, raise the level of awareness, raise the level of love, raise the level of the value for life, how we love and value one another. Raise the levels, man. Raise the level of consciousness and resolve to live and be and do and have what we are supposed to.